Welcome back to Media Madness. My name is Thomas, and does anyone remember the guy who got famous for confronting Kanye West in the TMZ newsroom way back in the day?
We got this conversation.
What Kanye just
I love you, and I want to give you a hug. I feel like you want to fight me right now, but I love you.
I don't fight with my fist, man. I've been through that. This is what I'm saying.
So if I come over there, you're not going to fight me?
No, I'm not going to hit Kanye West and TMZ.
Yeah, that guy. I also do not remember Candace Owens being present for this TMZ thing. Apparently, that guy has a name, Van Lathan, and he got fired from TMZ a year after that video dropped for fighting with someone else, and now he's a CNN contributor, and he fell for one of the dumbest political hoaxes, if you can even call it that I've ever seen. So let's watch.
The horrors of what happened to the children is one thing. You also had American citizens, black American citizens that were drugged out of their homes and detained and put through something that they should not have had to go through. And when we are having a conversation about how customary it is to detain someone, I want people to remember the historic implications of that for black people.
Okay, hold on. Wait, what would be?
Yeah,
wait, let me ask you honestly. What would be is the alternative to go in there and say, okay, guys, raise your hand if you are an American citizen, and we're going to let you out of here. Do you trust people to be honest? Like, is that the alternative? Is that the alternative?
No, yeah, the alternative is for law enforcement to do their job.
Yes, that's what they're doing.
They are detaining the right people.
And how do they detain?
Absolutely.
How do they determine that? They have to see the papers.
The alternative is for law enforcement
to act
to see like a scalpel and not like a hatchet.
Brianna, 1 second.
The whole black people being detained thing to which Van is referring here is from a viral tweet amplified by none other than the Cato Institute's David Bier yesterday, which depicts a African-American toddler being apprehended by what is presented as an ICE officer. And this picture comes from a TikTok video from July that we're about to watch now, and it's like, you look at this and I'm not sure how you clock it as anything other than a joke immediately.
It's a little girl alone in a parking lot, but the reason will shock the whole world. On a cold and silent night, Officer Maxime patrols the deserted streets of the city, when suddenly, an unexpected scene catches his eye. In the darkest corner of the parking lot, a little girl, Leah, stands alone. She looks completely lost and sad. Only 3 years old, she stares into the horizon, clutching her teddy bear tightly. Maxime, with a heavy heart, approaches cautiously, wondering what could have led such a young child to wander alone at this hour. "Why are you here all alone, little one?" Maxime asks, his voice tinged with forced gentleness. The little girl then answers him.
His voice tinged with forced What does that even... Who creates these videos?
"My mom left me here. She doesn't want me at home anymore." The officer, shocked, couldn't believe his eyes. He then decided to take the little girl back to the station to do more research. Digging a little deeper, he finally found the parents' address and decided to go there. Once he arrived, the officer decided to knock on the door, but no one answered. He then decided to forcibly enter, and what he will discover inside will shock you, and you won't believe your eyes. Press the plus button and comment "little girl" for part 2.
Now, I have no idea where this TikTok brain rot thing came from, but like, I mean, just look at the picture. This is obviously a joke. It's a bit. It's also worth noting that the officer himself here is black, so I'm not really sure what Van Lathan is going on about. That's all I have to say to it. I mean, it's just kind of stupid. You can see that CNN's, this is called a chyron here. Their caption says "kids in zip ties" here, so whoever was editing the broadcast of this was duped by this too. No big surprise, this is CNN's Abby Phillips. It's not, exactly a congregating point for the greatest minds of our time. Since I'm kind of light on material beyond the CNN clip for this episode, why don't we go ahead and peruse Mr. Lathan's resume here. So his Wikipedia page, half of it is about this one interaction he had with Kanye West 7 years ago. He's fired from TMZ, does podcasts, made a bunch of, I think he produced a bunch of movies about, like, the police is racist, the movie. And most interestingly, his personal life tab is very telling. He lives in Los Angeles. He's a fan of Star Wars. And in 2022, Lathan released his memoir, Fat, Crazy, and Tired, Tales from the Trenches of Transformation. Why did this guy need a memoir? I didn't even know who this guy is. He's not exactly like a towering media personality. It just seems a little excessive. I'm gonna see if there's a way that we can read some of this memoir. I'm curious to see how his prose is. Oh yeah, here it is. Here it is. Google Books is offering us a 21-page sample. Legacy Lit Books. It was published by a publishing house called Legacy Lit Books, which gives voice to issues, authors, and all groups that have been underrepresented, underserved, and overlooked. So it's the DEI publishing house. So let's see how it is. Oh God. If you decided to drop your dollars on this book, let me start by saying thank you, and then follow up by letting you know that I'm not an expert in anything. I'm not a personal trainer, a psychologist, or a life coach. Every story in this book is simply my experience of getting through to the other side of things without losing my shit in the process. When I moved to LA, I was definitely on the run from everything. South Louisiana, Hurricane Katrina just happened, and I just watched South Louisiana be decimated down to the point where people were wondering where they were going to get their next food and shelter from. It's just a messed up situation to be in. Who edited this? There's absolutely no reason that messed up should be hyphenated. If you're hungry, you go somewhere and you buy something to cook. But then what happens when there's no food in Walmart? I saw the amount of apathy that sparked in the rest of the country. We all realized just how quickly things could break down. It pushed me to go out and seek a better world. But at the same time, it crystallized for me that I needed to get away from where I was, that there was something I had to go find. Literally, I told people on a Monday I was leaving Thursday and never lived there again. This is a literary masterclass from Van Lathan here. Lit Legacy Books. Shout out. A lot of people are able to go through a bunch of different things and still come out on the other side feeling completely okay. I can't do that. It bothers me. It gets to me. I'll cry, I'll pout, and then I'll have a panic attack. I really have to work at it. It took a long time to even get to a point of working at it. Then I realized if I wanted to be mentally and spiritually clear, I had to be good with being all of me, with being a cool guy, but also fat, crazy, and tired as fuck. The titular line. This is awesome. In 2004, my father would not stop peeing. There were rivers and rivers of urine flowing from him. As I watched him, I began reflecting on the marvels of the human body. This is so stupid. I'm gonna buy 100 copies of Van Lathan's book and put them all on the shelf. We're just gonna have 25,000 copies on the shelf of this book. There ain't nothing in those books that I can't learn from the streets or from Dan Lathan's Fat, Ugly, Lazy, what is it? Fat, Crazy, and Tired. Thanks again, Van Lathan, for the content here. We're really scraping the barrel. But that's all I got for you today. Thanks again for watching, and you must like, subscribe, and comment below, and we'll see you next time.